nationalities in Nigeria. No. When we say that we present Biafra as the only remedy, all we are asking is the disintegration of Nigeria. All we are asking is separation from Nigeria. All we are asking that Nigeria should be disintegrated peacefully. Everybody should go their separate ways. The North should go to their northern region, Arewa, and be whom they want to be. The Southwest should go to their Yoruba Republic and be what they want to be. The Biafrans should be on their own side and be what they want to be. And the Middle Belt on their own. In the midst of this peaceful separation, there can still be intermarriage, there can still be friendship, there can still be business, people can still live where they want. There can still be nationalities wherever you choose. That is what we are advocating for. And that is the only solution that is going to end the terrorism, the genocide that is happening in Nigeria today. The main cause of the genocide today in Nigeria is conflict of interest. Conflict of interest, that is the reason. There is starvation, there is famine, there is insecurity, there is genocide in Nigeria. It's because of conflict of interest. So all we are asking is that people should be allowed to practice whatever they want in their own region. There should be a boundary. There is no point pretending to be a secular state when there is nothing secular about your state. Pretense cannot create a nation. Nations are created among people that have the same value system. It is a fact, undeniable fact, that nations are created among people that have the same value system. In Nigeria, people of different value systems are forced together against their will. Nobody signed up to be a Nigerian. Not the Hausas, not the Fulanese, not the Igbos, not the Yorubas, not the Efik, not the Ijos, not the Edos. Nobody put in signature and say, I want to be a Nigerian. That was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, had it been that the people by themselves decided that they want to be Nigerians, that he would not be out talking or speaking. So people should be given that opportunity to determine what they want, how they want it, and where they want it. Until then, we will continue to speak, we will continue to talk, we will continue to call the attention of the world to the only solution to what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria today. The only solution remains the disintegration of the zoo. That contraption must be disintegrated. People must go their separate ways. If you care about humanity, if you care about the world's security, you should add your voice and call for disintegration of Nigeria. The only people that cares about human life, the only people that cares about security on the planet Earth are those who are supporting the cause of disintegration of Nigeria. That is the only thing that will bring the eternal restoration of peace. That is the only thing that will bring growth. That is the only thing that will stop fraud. That is the only thing that will stop insecurity and genocide in Nigeria. For as long as you continue to allow people with different value system, you continue to force them to be in an environment they do not want. The core North have made it clear that they want a Sharia state. That is what the core North want. They want a caliphate. Why don't you allow them to have their caliphate in the North? The Southwest, the Yoruba Democratic Republic, have signified that they want their system to operate. Maybe in their monarchical system, allow them to practice it and deal with it. The Biafrans have embraced the secular system. That is what they want. Allow them to practice it. The Middle Belt has a choice on what they want. Allow every region to practice what they want. The only thing that we need now is a peaceful disintegration of the zoo, so that everybody will go their separate ways peacefully without firing a shot. I appreciate again and again the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. in his moves that he's making to maintain peace in Nigeria. I appreciate him a lot. I appreciate him. But as much as I appreciate him, we would like him to go a bit further, to look for the eternal peace. And the only thing that can bring eternal peace in that contraption called Nigeria is disintegration. Today, the United States is pushing for the end to Sharia law, which they smuggled into the Nigerian constitution without the approval of other regions. The Northern Caliphate single-handedly maneuvered and switched Sharia law into a secular state. And they used those laws on the Christians. They used those laws on the traditionalists. They used those laws on those who do not subscribe to it. We have seen it on video. We have seen people speak about it on their own conventional media. We cannot continue to pretend that it's not happening. This is a fact that must be dealt with. I do not have any problem with somebody trying to create a caliphate. There's no problem with that. If you want to create a caliphate, have your caliphate among people that agreed on it, people that have the same mindset. Under their agreement, establish your caliphate. Enjoy it for all I care. Enjoy it. But do not force other people to come and join you in your proposed caliphate. No. Chukwu Okike Abiyama gave us freedom. From birth, more especially the Biafrans, we know we are freeborn. And there is nothing you can do to keep us captive. Nothing. We are freeborn. And we know whom we are. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do to take away our freedom. You can't. No matter how you try, you will never succeed. So quit trying. Quit trying. That is why we are asking that there should be disintegration of the Zoological Republic so that each region will respect their own boundaries, practice whatever they want in their territory, grow in their own space at their own speed. These things are normal things. These are very genuine requests we are making. It is not made out of envy, jealousy, strife, hatred. No. A genuine request to save life. A genuine request to maintain respect for each other. A genuine request to create development. Why wouldn't the West support this request? Hearken unto it and push for it for everlasting peace. My fellow Biafrans, I welcome every one of you. Remember that this platform is a platform for public opinion. Whatever be your own opinion, you are entitled to it. And when the time comes, if you want to join us, you can join us live and hear your opinion. Whether you are watching on TikTok or you're watching on Facebook or you're watching us on YouTube, wherever you are watching this program. When the time comes, send in your request. I will bring you in and you hear your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. My job here is not to force you into anything. No. I'm not going to force you into anything. The decision is yours to make. Either you want to be free or you want to be a slave. It's your decision. I wouldn't make the decision for you. I can't make the decision for you. The decision remains yours. What I'm doing here is to call your attention to things you have forgotten. What I'm doing here is to remind you of the necessities of life. Self-determination is your right as a human being. It is not a privilege. It is your right. So no matter what anybody says to discourage you, hold on to your right. Self-determination is your right. And you have the right to express it, to use it any moment, and be yourself. So my fellow Biafrans, on this weekend, we are going to discuss about a topic which says Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as always, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must not be silenced. We must continue to give him a voice. The government of Nigeria is scared of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The world is scared of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of the truth that comes from him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is detained, taken to Sokoto, made incommunicado because of the truth that is coming to him. You see in their sentence, they included that they should make sure that he doesn't use the social media or any means of communication. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have not used AK-47. The only thing he's using is microphone. Either he's broadcasting on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, or Instagram. Only broadcast. That's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing. He never held gun one day. Nobody can say he saw him with a gun. So they want to take away his voice of truth. Our duty is to make sure that that voice of truth continues. That is why I'm here every morning, to give a voice to our Speaker Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. After the unjust treatment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the illegal judgment, so many people are saying so many things. They are playing it down. Some of them, many of them today are turning the blame on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Some idiots who have disappeared have resurfaced. And they come online, push different kind of lies, propaganda, blackmail. But are we going to keep silent and watch them? No, we cannot. We will continue to speak. We will continue to air our opinion. We continue to voice our voice, that the world must hear us. So we must give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a voice. Every time we come online, we must give him a voice. The world must hear him. We must give Mazi Simon Ekpa a voice. The world must hear him. The reason they took these two men away is because of the truth they speak. There are some people on the planet that are allergic to truth. There are some people that are very allergic to the truth. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. These kinds of individuals are the people that will continue to push that truth before them. And they are the reason why we are here. Those ones that don't want to hear the truth, they are the reason I come online. Even when I'm tired, even when I don't have much time, I still come. Because truth must be told. They can't stop us. They can't stop us. We must continue to fight this battle until we win it. Nigerian false flag exposed. One of the instruments of the Nigerian government that they are using against their citizens and those who are asking for their self-determination is false flag operations. We have been exposing this false flag every minute of the day. We expose it, we talk about it, and we will continue to talk about it. The conspiracy against Biafrans, Nigerian deception. Everything about Nigeria is deceit, lies, conspiracy, false flag. That is what the contraption called Nigeria is made up of. It is not that I'm saying it. All it takes for you, even if you are not a Nigerian, is to pay attention to their conventional media. Pay attention to their conventional media. Pay attention to social media networks. You will see the truth before your own very eyes. You will see the false flag. You will see the global conspiracy against the Biafrans, and you will see the deception of the Nigerian government. It is not hidden. They try to hide it, but Chukwu Okike always expose them. So we will talk about these issues. For as much as we can, as we have always done on a daily basis, we will. We will do the ones we can. The rest of it is in the hand of Chukwu Okike to do. The little we can do is what we are doing. And we will continue to do, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how the name they call us, no matter the attacks we get, it will not stop us from doing what we have to do. So, my fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, lovers of truth, lovers of freedom, lovers of justice around the world, I welcome you to this very platform where we expose the lies, break the silence, and defend the innocent. That is what we do here. Our today's topic is one the Nigerian state never wants you to talk about. The contraption called Nigeria don't want people to discuss this topic we're discussing. These are the topics that triggers them. These are the topics that scares them so much that they don't want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Mazi Nnamdi to talk about. We talk about it. The long history of false flag operation designed to deceive the world and wrongfully implicate Biafrans in terrorism and insecurity. They don't want us to talk about it, but we will talk about it today. The long history of false flag operation designed to deceive the world and wrongfully implicate Biafrans in terrorism and insecurity. That is what we want to talk about. I want you all to share this broadcast to our platform. Share it to family and friends. You never can tell who will come across it. These informations are information that need to be on the table of the people that matter in the world, the international communities, the people of the world, so they will know what we are going through in the contraption called Nigeria, why it is necessary that Nigeria must disintegrate and countries be created along value system. Share the broadcast immediately, because the truth must travel faster than their propaganda. We must make sure that the truth is traveling faster than their propaganda. The false flag operation. I believe most of us here know what is called false flag operation. I hope you know what is called false flag operations. Before we dive deep, let us define it clearly and responsibly. False flag. A false flag operation is when a government or group stages or manipulates an event and then blame it on another group to justify repression, gain political advantage, or distract the public. I hope you got it in a clear terms. A false flag operation, I take it again. A false flag operation is when a government or group stages or manipulates an event and then blame it on another group to justify repression, gain political advantage, or distract the public. This is the order of the day in Nigeria. False flag operation. We see it over and over and over again. If you remember the program we did yesterday, when we are talking about the Tiger Base, revealing the atrocities of Tiger Base, one of the instruments of false flag operation in Imo State is Tiger Base. Tiger Base is the major institution they are using to create false flag operation in Imo State. Tiger Base. The federal government is using them, the state government is using them, and that Tiger Base was put in place by the government itself. They are specialists in false flag operation. We did program yesterday and we revealed so many things about them. And suddenly, that same yesterday, after I finished my program, I went online, I was saying, and I saw that they called a press review. They called the people they say they are press, which I don't know where they pick them. Of course, it will be their conventional media and all whatever. They went and took them around in their office. I will play the video so that you can see the nonsense they did. And they called that investigation. They say they don't hide anything. They brought cameramen. They were going around and showing them places. And when we go to that, when we get to that video, then we can be able to analyze it. But I'm just trying to bring them up for you to understand what it means when we talk about false flag operation. the instrument that is being used by federal government in Imo State to conduct forced flag operation for them is that very tiger base. And it is very clear and obvious. I have played a video where you saw the people who are working there boasting. We have seen several videos, and the people who are involved in that very station, we saw them, they are the right-hand men of the government. They have been involved in kidnapping, they have been involved in snatching of cars, they have been involved in so many kind of criminal activities, they have been involved in so many genocidal activities. They are professional in false flag in Imo State. This false flag is a tool of propaganda used by federal government, a tool of propaganda, and the state government, they use it. A tool of manipulation, a tool of public deception, and a political control. That is what that false flag is being used for. Used for propaganda, used for manipulation, used for public deception, used for political control. And I give you a typical example. In Imo State, the tiger base. In Anambra State, they have theirs. You have the AVG in Anambra State, the Akododem. All these are people that the government have contracted for false flag operations. You have them in all the states. All the states in Biafra land, you have them. Including the Ebubebusu, the popular Ebubebusu that you hear about. They are also being used for false flag operations to go push propaganda against the people that are agitating for their freedom, against the masses that are asking for justice. This is being done over and over, and they have been captured on video so many times, not just on audio. There are video evidence to all these things I'm saying. The false flag, we saw that false flag clearly during the time of the NSAS. These so popular NSAS, they come and they want to use against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu indictment. We saw the false flag firsthand on video. DSS bringing people with their jeep to go and fight against protesters. Government vehicle bringing talks to go and fight protesters. We saw it over and over again. Across the world, false flags have been used to silence dissent and paint innocent people as criminals. That is what is being used for. So when we are talking about this false flag, you must understand it very well. That is the work that the tiger base is doing in Imo State. That is the work the AVG is doing in Anambra State. The Ndakodo is doing in Anambra State. That is the work that the Bubago is doing in all the southeastern region. False flag. That's what they are doing. I want you to understand this and understand it very well. And I want to show you how this false flag works in Nigeria. In the contraption called Nigeria. That is their greatest weapon. They use it, they overuse it. Even as we speak, they are still using it. For many years, patterns have emerged showing how certain powerful actors in Nigeria use misinformation, coordinated media report, and stage narrative to achieve a specific goal. Just the way they are staging narrative now. The tiger base that everybody is complaining about, that even Amnesty International have written about, they are now staging a coordinated media report. They are staging a coordinated misinformation to change the narrative just to achieve their goal. We are going to play that their video. Maybe when you play it, you understand very well what we're talking about. They make Biafrans look like threats, even when they are peaceful. This is the job of these people. They make the Biafrans look like threats, even when we are peaceful. You see, every security outfit they form in Biafra land is for false flag. That is why when they come out, their first attack is Biafra. They will issue a warning to the Biafra people. You will never see them giving warning to the terrorists. You will never see them giving warning to the Fulani dangerous headers. You never see them giving warning to the organ harvesters. They will focus on the Biafra agitators. That is how you identify this false flag. That is how their narrative works. That is how they start. When you see them and their loyalists, they justify militarization of the Southeast. Their loyalists, those politicians who are part of it, and every one of them, each time you see them, they will always justify militarization of the Southeast. There is nothing you will say to remove the military that you agree. They will say you don't know what you're saying. They will justify militarization of Southeast. They will always divert attention from real insecurity created by armed groups elsewhere. They will divert the attention of people from the real terrorists, the real insecurity, the real people that are causing insecurity. They will divert attention of people. And they will make sure everybody focus on the wrong direction. Their duty is to protect political interests by creating manufactured enemies. All these false flags are things we see in Nigeria every single day. Their playbook is simple. Something happens. This is how they operate. When something happens, before investigation starts, Biafrans are blamed. Without any investigation, when something happens in that contraption, before investigation, Biafrans are blamed. And this is what you see in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In just finished case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, before even anything happened, in all this, it was accusation. He said, but there was nobody that came out to testify against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody came out and said that this is what I did because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu pushed me to do it. But they always blame. Even without investigation, they just blame it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is IPOB. It is the Biafran people. It is the Igbo people. Without investigation. Just like they blamed us in the Igbo coup. After many have died for many, many years. For 50-something years, people have died and continue to die. They came back and tell us it is not an Igbo coup. That is the playbook of false flag. That is how they work. The media carry it immediately without verification. Like what Ruben Abati is doing in Arise. They don't verify. They carry rumor. They carry news. Immediately they run with it. You saw the video we were playing yesterday. Even something that was before Ruben, people were holding sophisticated weapon. Ruben was calling it double barrel. Ruben was calling it a different name. Even things that are very clear, they will twist it and change it to different things. Look at the Christian genocide. The Christian genocide. Somebody will stand in the media and begin to defend and say there is no Christian genocide. A journalist, without investigation. He cannot point the investigation that he or she has made that led him to that. It's just a suggestion that you sat in your studio and begin to defend. Media carry information immediately without even verification. And before you know it, the government officials, they will toe the same line. That is the playbook. This is how they operate. The government officials, anyone you see today, when you go to the national TV, whatever the House of Assembly says, bring somebody from the House of Senate who say the same thing, bring the governor that will say the same thing. All these politicians, they will follow the same narrative. That is how the false flag works. Government officials echo the same line. International partners receive a distorted report. That is what Nigerian does every time professionally. They give international partners distorted reports. They'll be feeding them with wrong informations. This cycle is repeating itself in Nigeria over and over and over again. This is the order of the day in Nigeria. That is the order of Nigeria. And in all this, the Biafrans are targeted. The Biafrans are mostly targeted in all this false flag. The most targeted are the Biafrans. And ask me why. Why Biafrans are targeted? Why is it that the Biafran people are the ones that are always targeted with this false flag? Most times. Why? And we have pointed out some reasons, some strategic reasons that we have to discuss. One of the reasons we are mostly targeted is because we demand for self-determination. Because they saw that the demand for self-determination is growing. The demand for our freedom is growing. It's not coming down. Even with the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and arrest of Mazi Nnamdi, with the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and arrest of Mazi Nnamdi, the self-determination is growing. It is not coming down. The Nigerian state sees the Biafran movement as a threat to the established political structure. Every politician see you. Once they see you identify with Biafra, they see you as a threat. Not because you took anybody's life or that you're going to take anybody's life or you're fighting anybody. No. Just because they see you as a threat to the established political structure, which is where their hope lies, that they use to manipulate and control people. Another reason is because the Southeast is politically independent-minded. The Biafran people, Southeast, more especially the Igbos, they are independent-minded. They do not bow to northern political dominance. The people that don't care about this northern oligarchy and whatever dominance, it is the Biafran people, the Igbos. They don't care about that. Useless, no. We believe in equal rights. Everybody has the right to aspire for anything. Nobody will lord himself over any other person. And because of that, they see us as threat. Another reason they attack us all time with this their false flag is because controlling the narrative controls international perception. When they control the narrative, you go to media, you are hearing nonsense. You go to social media, people are talking trash. It controls the international perception also. You see why every one of us that is a Biafran must be online and speak, tell your story yourself. If you don't tell your story, they are going to control the narrative. They will tell the story, and the international communities will believe them. That was why the man that was reporting genocide said that in the United States, that they are not seeing us in a good light. They are not seeing us in a good light because of the perception Nigeria has built continuously. And they even use our fellow Biafrans to build those perspectives. They see us differently. If Biafrans are labeled violent, the world becomes slow to listen to their legitimate cries for justice. That is why they always try to change everything we do as violent. Even when we're back on a peaceful seat at home, they turn it and twist it and make it violent. The entire world know that peace sit at home is a legitimate civil disobedience. A democratical civil disobedience in a peaceful manner. But because it is the Biafran, they don't want the world to see it in that manner. They don't want the world to look at Biafra and they see that silence. They plant their false flag. They create chaos. They burn cars. They burn houses. They take the life of people on the day of sit at home to make sure that the world sees it as violent. Do you now understand why they are fighting the sit at home? A legitimate cause of Biafra. They use their false flag against us to turn a peaceful sit at home done by the people into violent. They took many lives, destroyed many properties. In most cases, they were caught in camera. There was a one sit at home where, in their media, a policeman was caught in camera enforcing the sit at home. And the people they are using in this operation, and this something like this tiger base, you saw how they look. You saw how their police look. Even yesterday, in that very this I was playing, that old video that I'm going to play, they were denying that they're not using mask. These are a bunch of idiots we have captured with mask on several occasions. They deny that they don't use mask for operation. They say they don't touch them. A Nigerian police telling you that they don't touch them. That should tell you everything you need to know. The reason they are doing what they are doing against us is to label us violent. Once they label us violent, the world becomes slow to listen to our legitimate cry for justice. Another reason is because exposing the real causes of insecurity would implicate powerful networks. Exposing the real causes of insecurity would implicate powerful network. That is why they shift every attention to the Biafran people. They shift every attention to IPOB. They shift every attention to agitation. Even when the name of the sponsors of terrorists we are giving to them, they refuse to bring it out because it will implicate them. They will not take responsibility. They do this over and over and over again, and they will not stop. So we are revealing all these things for you to be aware, because some of us are even being deceived. They make you begin to hate your brother, hate your sister, fight your brother, fight your sister, even when they created this problem. That is why we are touching all these issues. But it is a pity that there is a global silence. In the midst of all this false flag, we cry, we shout, we provide evidence, we send it online, yet there is global silence. And we are asking, who benefits? Who is benefiting from this atrocity that's happening in Nigeria? Who is benefiting? That is the question. Who is benefiting? Let us be honest. There is a level of international hypocrisy surrounding Nigerian crisis. There is a level of international hypocrisy surrounding Nigerian crisis. If not that Donald Trump made this call, people will continue to buy in Nigeria and nobody will say any word. The British that is on the ground sponsoring this and the French, they will never comment about it. Even when Donald Trump have called it up and the whole world is paying attention, seeing the evil, the British never condemn Nigeria for what's happening. The French will not do the same. They don't care. Who is benefiting? There is a level of international hypocrisy surrounding the Nigerian crisis. No doubt. Some global actors prefer stability over truth. Some global actors prefer stability over truth, even if stability is built on lies. That is what the British want. That is what Nigeria is standing on. They preach about false unity. They talk about one Nigeria that is never one. Unity that never existed anywhere. Instability, that there is no stability. Just like the UK Prime Minister came and used to say, oh, I came to Nigeria. I heard so much that there's insecurity in Nigeria. But when I came to Nigeria, I was so secure and safe. The whole place is safe for me. I came to Imo State. These people talking about stability that is built on lies. There is no stability in Nigeria in all areas. But yet, the global actors, like the ex-president of the United Kingdom that came to Nigeria, prefer stability over the truth. Even if stability is built on lie, that is what they want. That is what you saw in Imo State that they displayed. Some nations have economic and political interests in Nigeria. That is a fact. These are the people that are benefiting. Remember, that's our question. Who is benefiting? Some nations have economic and political interests in Nigeria. Oil deals, military cooperation, security partnership. So they avoid pressing too hard on human rights issues. Conspiracy. Because of these interests, oil, military cooperation, security partnership, they avoid pressing hard on human rights issues. That is why you see them silent on the abuse that was televised before the whole world in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The illegality that was displayed before the whole world. And up till now, everybody is silent. The lie that was preached against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the illegality on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This silence empowers those who manipulate narrative. The silence of the world empowers those who manipulate narratives, thereby giving them the opportunity to continue to do what they are doing in Nigeria, mainly in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This very false flag is having a great effect on innocent Biafrans. False flag has real consequences, in case you don't know. And the consequence on us, the Biafrans, is that young men are arrested without evidence. Peaceful activists labeled wrongly. They call you a terrorist, they call you a kidnapper, without investigation. Many lose their life. Communities are militarized unnecessarily for no just cause. For no just cause, communities are militarized. You see what happened in Imo State. How they have destroyed so many communities, empty the communities, and they will turn around and blame IPOB. Communities are militarized. Fear and tension created artificially. They create tension and fear everywhere in Biafra land today. People are afraid to speak. People are afraid to talk. People are afraid to act. International organizations are being misinformed. That is the most dangerous. They misinform the international community. If not for the intervention of Donald J. Trump, no human being on earth will ever mention the issue of Christian genocide. This is a genocide that has started for many, many decades ago. We talk about it, we shout about it, we speak about it with so many evidence. Nobody cares. Fear and tension created artificially. International organizations are misinformed. Legitimate movements discredited, just like the IPOB. A legitimate movement discredited. That is what you get. This is not just propaganda. It impacts real life, real family, and real communities. All these things I'm mentioning here. There are people that it has affected directly. Young men arrested without evidence, peaceful activists, labeled wrongfully, like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ever. Communities militarized, many communities in Biafra land today. Fear and tension created artificially. There is fear, tension everywhere in Biafra land. International organizations misinform, misinformation. legitimate movements discredited. This is the picture of Nigeria. False flag. This is not just propaganda. It impacts real life, real family, real communities. The world must pay attention. The international community must pay attention. Because the deadly combination of false narrative plus political interest plus silence creates a dangerous environment where everything becomes possible, including abuse of power. The world must understand that demanding justice is not terrorism. The world must understand that demanding justice is not terrorism, has never been and will never be. Calling for fairness is not a threat. Calling for fairness is not a threat, has never been and will not be. Self-determination is a human right recognized by international law. If you don't know, no. Self-determination is a human right recognized by international law. If the world ignores manipulation, innocent people continue to suffer. That's why they must not be silent. The world must not be silent. All we are doing here is to call for transparency and accountability. We are only calling for transparency and accountability. And we demand independent investigation into incidents used to blame Biafra. Let there be international and independent investigation into incidents used to blame Biafra. Just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Go and check the independent report of the NSAS. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not mentioned anywhere. He was not indicted anywhere. But in the judgment against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that was televised on national TV, every single thing that was read in the accusation from A to Z was about NSAS. NSAS brokers, NSAS brokers, NSAS brokers. But investigation have been done on NSAS. No single Igbo man was indicted. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not indicted. In that same NSAS, when they created a false flag and they took innocent lives, shot innocent citizens in Togate and so many other places. Independent investigation into incidents used to blame Biafrans is what we call for. And the international community must pay attention. We also call for international monitoring in the Southeast. Let it not just be ignored. We appreciate the fact that you are talking about the Christian genocide in the North. What about the Southeast? Don't ignore the Southeast. Let there be international monitoring in the Southeastern region, Biafra land. We call for media responsibility and fact-checking. Media responsibility and fact-checking. Because there are many people in that media telling lies, pushing propaganda, joining the same false flag. They are there, and we know them. Equal treatment of all regions in security reporting. There must be equal treatment. The same way you look at Zone A should be the same way you look at Zone B. Let there be equal reporting. Equal treatment of all regions in security operation. There must be recognition that propaganda cannot replace truth. The world must know that propaganda can never and will never replace the truth. The truth must stand. The truth must stand. My fellow Biafrans, Wherever you are this weekend and you're watching us, I want you to have this in your mind. Wherever you are this weekend and you're watching this program, please like and share this program to others so they can see. But I want you to know, do not lose hope. Biafrans, do not lose hope. Do not be intimidated. Do not allow propaganda to weaken your resolve. Do not allow propaganda to weaken your resolve. When lies are loud, truth must be louder. Did you hear that?